Hello and welcome to the channel. So I've got a Burman 501 on the bench, and most of you who know these amps well will be looking at that and thinking, that's not a Burman cabinet and they aren't Burman knobs, and you'd be absolutely correct. This cabinet has been custom built for this Burman, and it's much smaller and more compact and much lighter. It's made of pine and it's been very well made indeed, really well made. The reverb doesn't work on this amp. It doesn't actually have a reverb tank, but the customer has brought one with it, so we are tasked with sorting out the reverb. Now this amp works okay apart from that, apparently. If we look on the top, you can see how neat and tidy it is. The bolts there, nice washers on there, a nice handle, got the chicken knobs there, you can see. So let's have a look in the back of it, and you can see this cabinet here is made of pine. Really nice work. Got an eminent speaker there, you can see on the back, and we've got the usual deal with this amp: fuse, voltage selector, impedance selector, and some sockets on the back there. Right, so I've got it out the case, we've got it on the bench, and we're having a look inside. See, there's a bit of sawdust there, which is what that is in the corner there. But this amp is in fantastic shape for its age. These were really well made amplifiers. We've had one of these on the channel, and that was a couple of years ago, must be now getting on. We've had a screen resistor changed. That's one of those horrible type resistors with the baubles on that I don't like. It's okay on there though, just don't like them when they're lying close to the chassis. Caps all look in splendid condition. We're not going to change those. I'm just going to check these, make sure they're all good, but everything in here looks top drawer. Obviously we've got the mustard caps, that might have been changed, might not, but yes, all looks good in here. So we're going to power this up. I've just got a 100-watt light bulb on there, and that's lit up quite brightly and gone dim. This got a bit of squealing on that gain. Just turn all the controls down. Well, that's silent. Absolutely, those caps are in perfect condition. Put the other 100 in, so we've got a couple of 100. Here we go, we've got 200 volts plus going in, 205, 6. Current's 300 milliamps now. Ooh, that's not good, is it, that? I don't quite know what's going on with that. And if we turn... Ah, yes. What is causing that? Right, switch on there. So I'm regulating that now with these two. I wonder if it's the lights. No. Could be a tube, maybe. Don't know. Let's turn the treble down and the presence. No, it's still there. But a really well made amplifier. Right, let's take a few readings. still got it on the current limiter. That's off the current limiter, and yeah, the current's going down now because we've got obviously lots more plate voltage. So 400 milliamps it's drawing. Yes. I'm just going to put the limiter back on now. Right, so I've got the amp in the cradle now. This is the cable for the reverb, and it has one of these RS plugs, and I've just checked this and there's continuity. We're going to plug this in, try the reverb tank, and that should go in that way. There we go. So plug the tank in. You can't see that, it's off camera, but reverb tank's a reverb tank, isn't it? So it's actually a Mod one. So let's just plug in again. Still got the current limiter on, and we'll just see what we're getting. Well, that's working. Oh, don't know then. Seems to be working. Should we try the guitar through it? I think we will. Nothing wrong with that. I've got about half the reverb in there. Put full in. This one there. Yeah, that seems to work okay. It's got a really, really big sound, this app. Really big, bassy, meaty sound. And one of the reasons for that is these 100 microfarad bypass caps going through there. I've got 0.1s for the coupling caps to the output tubes. Real big sound. That's sounding pretty good to me. Half reverb. Reverb on number 3. that is sounding very good. So the reverb works, unless we've got an intermittent cable. We don't appear to have. So those sockets they just put in with a couple of clips, although they're loose, they don't actually come out. Oops. Fail. So that sounds really tasty. And now the guitar's plugged in, that gain 2 has stopped squealing. It has. Careful, because it's late at night, so I don't want to wind this up. The neighbours won't be happy. Yes, as soon as you pull that out, that starts squealing. So I wonder if that's a ground problem. Probably is some kind of ground problem. Don't know on that one. We'll have to do a bit of testing. I get the feeling that the bias is a little cold on this amp, judging by that overdrive. So I think, mind you, I've still got the current limiter on, haven't I? Do you know the times I do that, especially at night when I'm working, and I've been working all day and I'm starting to flag a bit. Let's get it back on with the current limiter off. I always put the current limiter on when I'm messing around with amps in case I cause a short. And that's better. Now let's wow. Lacking a bit of top as well, although that could be because that volume's down. That's better. double check the bias though, better turn that volume down before I pull the lead out. Just put the limiter back on while we start connecting up some probes and testing. Right, let's get this in here. Set it on voltage. Untangle the wires because they've got tangled up because I'm a plank. Now I need to find a ground of suitability. I'll see what plate voltage. That's a good idea. Why don't you put the meter where the output transformer terminals are? It's a real pain trying to get these in shot. I'll have to just go back with the camera. I mean, this thing's plastic, so it's not going to cause a short or anything, but it's still not ideal to be putting it in the amp. So I'm just going to hold it and keep showing it under the camera. So let's go for some plate voltage. You can hear the reverb whirling away now. So we've got 408 on there, and I've got 200 watts of bulbs. Let's turn the bulbs off. So 476 and rising. Yeah, we're swaging. 480. What we on the mains? 241. Again, it's 20 past 10 at night. So 480-ish going on there. It's actually quite easy to test this amp as well, because just put that on again, because the output transformer terminals are here, center tap and each side. So to get a reading across the one side of the transformer, I just have to do that, and it's very, very quick. This amp is really well put together, really impressive. There's not many of these amps around now, but they're fantastic. Look at that, only one volt on there, so the bias is, as I thought, is terribly low on this, and I could tell just from the sound of the overdrive. You just, when you've been playing for years, you just get an ear for it. So there we go. That's got to at 1 volt at 480 volts plate. That's got to be really low. What we got on the other side? Limiter. See what we've got on the other side. Not great, a little bit, and that's coming down. So yeah, so the bias is really low on there. Let's put it on a dummy load. Actually, I'm a bit of a dummy sometimes. We should call it a Martin load instead of a dummy load. We're all set up with the scope, and we're just going to take the impedance readings on each side of the transformer. Obviously I've turned the amp off, so let's have a look what we've got. .5 will do for that. 43.5. Well, actually it's just creeping up. 44. Let's have a look at the other side. So green is 44 and white is 42. Oh, that's good enough for me. First of all, we'll just check what the bias is doing, so we can think about the readings we had. So if we just go on to volts again now, got all the volumes down, we'll switch on again. We know we've got around 480 plate volts, which is a bit high when the amp's running, and that's another thing that makes me think this amp is under biased cold. So again, look at that, 0.09. There is no 480 volt. That is yeah, that's very cold. We are on white. Not that it matters too much, there's only 2 ohms in it, but so we'll call it 1 volt. 1 volt divided by 42 is 23.8 milliamps. Times that by 480, 11 watts. So they are quite cool at that. 11.4 watts, you can see on there, 11.4 watts. So yeah, no, not surprising there. Point limiter on. I just remove this off here. Limiter off. Got considerably more on this side. Oh no, that's coming down now. Yeah, that's about right. So they're reasonably good match, those tubes. That has come down a little. That is a little less. 0.94, 0.93. That's still dropping. 0.94 settled now. 0.94 divided by 44 equals 21.3 milliamps times 480. That's 10.2 watts. Little bit out those tubes. 10.2, 11.4, just a watt. So yes, that's definitely out, isn't it? So we need to bring that up a little bit. Let's see then. So that's bringing it up, going that way. Let's try about 2 volts to start off with. So we've got 2 volts on the meter now, you can see on that side, 2.1, that's 47.7 milliamps. But now we need some plate voltage. So I'm just going to take that one off and put it on ground. $464 volts. Oh, we've overdone it a bit there. 22 watts. We just need to come down a shade. It's not a massive issue while it's idling, because they would be well over that would if the guitar was belting through them. So we'll come back a bit. Try 1.5-ish, something like that. It's a bit of a not a great pot this. It's 34.7 milliamps. Right, let's try the ground, and then 470 we've got on there. 16.3, so we're close. We're getting very close. So I think 1.6 will put us there. Somewhere around there. Just going a little bit over now, but never mind. 38.4 milliamps, that sounds more like it. 18 watts. Whoa, just a shaking too much. 36.8 milliamps. 17.3, that'll do for me. That's near enough. 17.3. Right, let's try the other side. So the only thing we've got is this squealing when you get past, and that's showing on the scope as well. So if we look, if we turn that up, you can see that on the scope. .7 kilohertz. Let's see if it very unpleasant. But I still think that might be a grounding issue. Right, we're we're all done here. So the amp's biased with the, you can see now we can turn this up full, and it was a grounding problem. This socket just needed cleaning. That's all it was. It wasn't grounding out properly. I guessed it was that when we plugged the guitar in it, and it obviously then we didn't get the squealing, the oscillation. So we'll get this back in its case and we'll give it a blast. So I've just looking around before wrapping up on this amp, I didn't notice this cap. Just had to look at it. I actually used the macro lens to look. There just seemed to be a tiny bit of leakage on this cap. I don't know, but I've measured this cap and it's 150 microfarad. I've actually measured it with 2 meters and it should only be 100, so it's 50 microfarads over. So I think we're going to have to change him. Now we've got all these as well along here, so I think we've got 2, 3, 5. I think I'm going to just check all of these capacitors, because 50 microfarads is a lot. So testing the second one on that meter, we're getting 146. Let's go across to the next one. Sorry about that with the camera there. Again, just about 145 on that one. So they have drifted. For 1 on that one. One for 6, and the last one 146. Let's go back to the first one again. $150. So yeah, they have drifted quite a bit. Now the one that measured 150, I did measure that with this meter, and that had an ESR of nil point. That's measured 150 again. So strange. They all measure that, and yet it clearly says 100 on them. I've had to. Yep. $149 ESR 0. So the ESR's fine on them. It's just they've just drifted out, and 50, as I say, 50 microfarad is a fair bit. That one's got 0.1 loss, but that's nothing, is it? So yeah, they've just drifted. The fact that they're all around 150 though, it does make you wonder if the tolerance was slightly out on them when they were new. Let's try the Finersi tester, or Finsri as I like to call it, because I like making up daft names for things. Let's just back out with the camera a bit, because you get a general idea of what's happening now. Not going that close, do we? Right, let's try the Finsri. Takes a while to give a reading, this does. So that's given 151 microfarads with 2.2 loss and an ESR of 0.44. Right, let's just randomly test another one. So this Finersi tester is great on the camera. The display is really good, but we have had mixed results with this. Some things it tests better than others, and it does take a long time to give us our reading. $143 with 1.5 loss, ESR 0.40. Yeah, loss 1.5. So it's giving roughly the same microfarad, but it's giving a more detailed test there. I mean, the ESR is not a million miles out. Some of these, most of them was ESR 0. That's only 0.37 ohms. So I don't know, in this instance maybe this is more accurate than the obviously the other Finsri meter just gives you the microfarad, it doesn't give you anything else. So maybe this, in this instance with these caps, this is a little more accurate. But either way, those caps have increased in value or were already high in value when they went in. So I've had a bit of a think and a look around at what caps we've got. So I've got 3 100 microfarad caps there. I have to order some more of those. So if I change these 3 here, and then this one, I've got a couple of Vishays at 47. If I put those in parallel, I've got some radials, but I don't want to put radials in it. It's just no, I think, in this amp. And then these 2 are only on the reverb, so I think I'm going to leave those 2, because increasing the microfarad on the reverb would give it a richer tone, a more warmer and richer tone. So, and the reverb sound is splendid. So I'm going to put those back and leave those, and I'm just going to change these 4 here on the preamp stages, because that's only the reverb after all as well. It's not detriment. All finished now. We've put these 2 back, they're only on the reverb. Changed this one, and the other 300s were about 125 microfarad. So I've used these Vishays and I've put them in parallel. 47 in parallel gives me about 93 microfarad on those. And yeah, don't look as tidy, but these are good quality caps, these Vishays. So got those in there, and that's perfectly good enough. It's better than putting a radials in there. So that's it. So this is now ready to go back in its case, and we'll give it a blast. Right, we've got this amp back in its case, we've got the reverb screwed down, and we'll give it a listen. So we've got these 3 games here going on. You've got bass, middle, treble presence there. We've got the reverb on number 3. Let's just have a listen to the reverb on full tilt. of sound there. So go to about halfway. Very lush. So reverb's just on 2 now. Right, let's try this overdrive then, wind these gains up. So let's go up to about number 6 on these two. Wow. So let's just push up gain 2. Better. bit more in. With those 100 microfarad bypass caps, it does make the overdrive just a little bit farty. It's a very grungy gain. Back these gains off a bit more now. That reverb in again. Rusty jazz playing there. So there we go, the Burman 501 in this beautifully made pine cabinet. Really impressed with that cabinet, I really am. Lovely lush reverb, really nice clean tone. The overdrive's an acquired taste, not for me, but some people like that grungy overdrive, so if you do, then that's right up your street. Incredibly loud amp. This amp is absolutely ticking over in here. This thing is a monster. You know, the transformers on these are just out of this world, and well, just the design of this amp is fantastic. So let me know what you think in the comments. That'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care. See you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.